Bonjour et merci de voir cliquer sur cette vidéo. Which means, in French, hello and thank you for clicking on this video. Thank you for clicking on this video. Today, as you might have been able to tell by that intro and probably by the title, I have created this Emily in Paris Parisian inspired makeup look. It's so different to the looks that I've done previously on my 12 looks of Christmas, which is why I was really looking forward to it. I went all out and bought myself a beret. I finished watching Emily in Paris a while ago now, but I loved the makeup looks that was on that TV series. Being a makeup artist on a series like that must be so much fun. I just wanted to create a bit of an Emily in Paris slash French Parisian inspired makeup look, and this is a look that I created. So if you want to see how I created this makeup look, then please keep on watching. So I do have my hair back today, but I'm just going to clip this side in case it decides that it wants to come forward. Before we start this video, I would just like to do a little disclaimer. If you do catch a glimpse of my nails, please don't judge. I have had every intention of doing them the last few days and just haven't got around to it through pure laziness. There's nothing else, no other reason. So they are not cute. This kind of makeup look is very skin focused in terms of there's not a lot going on the eye. There's a nice bold lip, but there is just not really a lot going on there. So for the first time in this series, I will not be starting off with the eyes. We are going to start off with the skin, which is going to be the thing that we need to get right. Now, for any look like this that we just want that like really good glow from within, we're not going to go too heavy on the makeup, so the skin needs to look perfect. So what I'm going to do is going to start with some skincare products. Usually I will moisturize and stuff before I do these tutorials, so I wanted to share the skincare products that I am going to use. So we're going to start off with eye cream, and I'm going to be using the Glossybox Eye Boost cream. I love this eye cream so much. I'm just putting a little bit of that onto my ring finger, and we are going to put that on the under eye. Next up, I'm going to use the Glossybox Skincare 3-in-1 Moisturiser. I love this moisturiser, it smells incredible and it's extremely hydrating. And we're just going to put that all over the skin. We're going to get a little bit of hydration in the skin from a facial spray as well, and I'm going to use the Pixie Glow Mist for this. I love this spray so much. Look at the glow on my skin, like, hello. Of course, we want nice moisturised lips ready for that bright red lipstick that we're going to be using later. I'm just going to take the Bondi Sands lip balm. This is actually like an SPF lip balm, but I love how hydrating it is, and it tastes like coconut. So reminds me of summer, this though, because you wore it all throughout summer. So just make sure that you're going to let that skincare settle into your skin. You want to give those products a little bit of time to work their magic before you apply anything onto the skin. Now for primer, I'm going to use the Bare Minerals Prime Time. This is a bit of a mattifying primer, so I'm only going to apply this in the place that I personally need it. I am just going to apply it around the nose area, around the chin and the forehead, so just in the T-zone, just to make sure I can blur my pores out. And next up on the skin, I'm going to use this L'Oreal Liquid Illuminator. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some of that on my fingers and spread it out all over my skin. This is going to give us that glow from within. We're going to put foundation over this. You'll see by the end it just leaves the skin looking nice and illuminated. So I'm just rubbing that in my fingers, and I'm focusing this on the cheek area and the forehead. I'm not going to be putting it on my nose because I don't want that bit highlighted. Like, look at that glow. I used to think like, what was the point in putting products like this on when I was putting foundation on, but when you're using sort of light to medium coverage foundation, it's going to really come through. For foundation, I'm going to use the L'Oreal True Match, and this is in shade 1. I've got a hair on my lip. And this is in shade 1.5, and this is sort of, I would say, medium coverage. I wouldn't say light coverage. It's medium coverage and it's buildable. I love this foundation so much. I use it on brides. So I'm just going to pop that onto the back of my hand. And I'm just taking a large fluffy brush. This is going to make sure that we're not distributing too much of this. We don't want the skin to be completely covered. If you look at images of beautiful Parisian women, they always have like gorgeous skin and they know that they shouldn't be covering it up, so it's always really light on the skin, very glowy, very blushy, and yeah, just oh, I love it so much. You can see we've still kept the glow from the illuminator. So I am still going to conceal a little bit, but we're going to be so light on this. And I'm just taking the e.l.f. Camouflage Concealer, and this is in shade Fair Warm. And as I have said before, when I've used this, a little bit goes a long way. So I'm just taking really small dabs of this, and I'm going to use my ring finger to blend that out. I looked up a lot of makeup inspo for this look to get really inspired. I love Emily in Paris. Like, at first I thought it was a bit cheesy, like, I don't know, I just couldn't get into it, and then once I'd watched a couple of episodes, I realised that I was like really invested. Do you ever get that? Like, at first you're like, oh, I'm not bothered, and then you feel like if you wasn't to continue watching those episodes, you would, like, you need to know what happened to them. I carried it on and I'm glad that I did. I believe they're bringing another season out, which I'm really happy about. So this look is inspired by some of the makeup looks that I saw in that series, and the women were just obviously gorgeous in that series. Amazing. We are not going to be baking our under eye. I'm just simply going to be setting it with the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Powder in shade Fair, and I'm just taking this Real Techniques brush and I'm just going to press that into the skin. Next up is also a product that I always forget that I own, and this is the Kiko Milano Velvet Touch Cream Blush. Now this is in shade 01. I do have a more pinky version of this, but I think I'm going to go in with this one and then top it off with a bit of a brighter powdered blush. So I'm just taking a brush like this, a nice fluffy brush. You can also use a stippling brush, and I'm just putting it onto the product like this, and I'm going to smile and apply. One thing that I noticed on a lot of the imagery that I was looking up, it always had gorgeous rosy cheeks, so that is what we are recreating today. Now I won't be contouring for this look, but I'm just going to add a tiny bit of colour to my forehead and cheeks with the Morphe Filter Effect powder, and I'm just going to take it really lightly. I just want to add a tiny bit of colour onto my forehead and cheeks, not too much, just to kind of warm up the face. We are also going to use this powder on the eyes, so I'm just going to go onto the eyes while I have this out, and I'm just taking the Morphe JH32 brush, and we're just going to start by putting that all over. So just a light hand on this one. We don't want it to be super pigmented, and I haven't prepared with the P. Louise base just because we really aren't going to be putting that much colour onto our eyes, so I don't feel like it's necessary. One thing I noticed when I was looking up some images was how little they really have on their eyes. Like, they really let their eyes come through. They don't often wear lashes, and yeah, I just really love how sort of stripped back and beautiful and elegant it is. We could probably get away with not putting any eyeliner on at all, but what I'm going to do, because we're not wearing any lashes, is I'm just going to line my eyes with a dark brown shadow. So I'm going to use my Morphe Bronze Gold, and I'm going to use this colour here, which as you can see is very well loved, and just take an angled brush and I'm just going to dip that in, and I'm just going to create a little bit of like a smoked out eyeliner. Give them a little bit of character by adding this step. I'm just going to add the tiniest, faintest little flick. I'm just going to add over the top of their slightly darker colour, and I'm going to take this brown one here. I feel like it's gone slightly warmer than I would like it, so I'm just going to go over it with a bit of a darker colour. Oh, that's much better already. Now for the under eye, I'm just going to take that Morphe powder again and just apply it underneath, just to tie everything in nicely. So we're going to move on to brows now, and one thing I noticed was they always had gorgeous big fluffy eyebrows, like just not structured, just really nice and fluffed out and just beautiful. So I'm going to use my spoolie on my e.l.f. Ultra Precise Brow Pencil, what else, and I'm just going to brush them hairs upwards. Now I am going to use a brow gel to sort of hold them into place like this, and I am still going to fill some of the gaps in, but we're just going to make sure that this inner section here isn't too structured. And I'm doing this with upward strokes just so we can maintain that nice fluffy brow that we want. Again, just using upward motions with the strokes. Then I'm going to take some of the Maybelline Precise Brow Filler, and I'm just going to use the brush on this to set them brows into place, again using upward motions. So I'm going to apply a little bit of liquid highlight. This is a Primark Liquid Glow, and this is in shade Champagne, and I'm just going to take a tiny bit of that and pop it onto the back of my hand. I'm just going to use my ring finger, and I'm just going to apply this in the places that I want highlight, and then blend out with a different finger, just so we're not adding too much product. And I'm going to apply a little bit under the brow bone and a little bit above the eyebrow, just to create a really natural glow. We do still have a little bit of glow there from the first illuminator, but this is just going to add a nice little extra glow. Now for powder blush, I'm going to use the same brush that I used earlier and the Beauty Crop Duo blush, and I'm going to use more on the pinkier side. There's two colours and this one's slightly darker, so I'm going to use the brighter one over that cream blush. And then I'm just going to go over the top with this Primark blush, and this is in shade Carnival. I love this. These are literally £1, I think. Yeah, £1. And I'm just going to use a tiny bit because this is so pigmented. I'm just going to set the face with the Becca Skin Love Prime and Set Mist. For mascara, I'm going to use the e.l.f. 3-in-1 mascara, and as we're not wearing lashes, we're going to be very, very generous with this. And now we're moving on to lips, and we're doing a very, very bright red bold lip. To line my lips, I'm going to use this NYX lip pencil in Hot Red. And for lipstick, I'm going to use the Sleek Makeup Liquid Lipstick, and this is in shade Rioja Red. I think I'm saying that right. And now for the finishing touch. And here we have the finished look. I am so happy with the way this turned out. It is very different to the last makeup tutorials that I've been doing in this series, and that is why I wanted to include it. I feel like the hat is just a nice added touch. I feel like I'm ready to sip wine in a French restaurant while tucking into snails or a croissant or a pan au chocolat. And I can just imagine myself shouting "Je m'appelle Demi" to people. Demi is actually a French word. So I'm not named after the French word demi, but demi, if I'm not mistaken, means half. I'm going to look this up because I don't want to lie to you. Yeah, so it means half. I just want to go Paris now. Now this might not feel like a Christmassy look as such, but I just wanted to do some fun makeup looks and just make it nice and interesting. I just feel like I'm ready to go somewhere and just like pick up flowers and just basically be Emily in Paris. I might move to Paris. I'm probably not going to move to Paris, but you know, I'll probably go there for a weekend or something. Thank you very much for watching this tutorial. I hope that you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to come back tomorrow at the same time for the next makeup look in my 12 Looks of Christmas series. I hope to see you here again then. Thank you.